Hi, Bill Henshaw here again, walking Constitution out here on the San Francisco Peninsula. And current news, you may have seen it. Congress has somehow found itself burdened with a $31 trillion debt, undefined dollars, by the way, undefined. One wonders what exactly the limit of Congress's powers are in this area. But that said, it's an interesting thing because, if we have a crash here, what's going to happen? We don't know. But particularly important here, these are undefined dollars, defined, if at all, by the president acting as commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And that's admiralty jurisdiction, which the framers recognize as a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws. And that issue beats every case you could possibly have, particularly in what pretends to be a state judicial court, but what really is nothing more than an administrative tribunal. And if you haven't noticed, and a lot of people increasingly are, especially in the legal community, the Supreme Court's been on an all-out assault on the administrative state going into their third term here. And that's good news for all of us, no matter what it is they seem to have you for. As I said, that's good for evictions, to name a key one at this moment in time. And it's good for traffic courts, DMV, IRS, any alphabet agency, because they all presume that you're a quote unquote person within the meaning of the statutes. And among other things, they can't even prove that to start out with. So you get my constitutional defense document packets, and I have a bill of particulars in there, 14 pages that may soon be updated. And you get my materials, you get complimentary updates too. But send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com, and learn how to start dealing with these bastards. And not only that, but in ways cognizable to the justices on the current U.S. Supreme Court, who are acting like a judicial court for the first time in very arguably 90 years. Now, the key to this money business is that the appropriately named Mariner S. Eccles, the chairman of the Federal Reserve at the time, 1941, said on the record, House Subcommittee on Banking and Finance, the Fed had the power to create debt, and without debt, there would be no money. What the hell is this? The agents of our agents have the power to do that, and they can only have that power if our agents in Washington, D.C. have that power to delegate, but they can only have it if we have the power to delegate. The short story here is that if the Fed can create debt and make and do that and say that the debt is now money, we can do the same thing, and we don't need anybody's permission, do we? And the justices on the Supreme Court know this right now. Now, this is an issue they won't be prepared to rule on, at least until after the next election in 2 years. But if Republicans win that and Alito and Thomas can retire, they get younger conservatives on there. Now we have them for the next 12 or 15 years, maybe. And a lot of things could change here because the first time in 90 years they're acting like a judicial court because they know the dire threat we have to our federated Republican form of government of defined and limited powers in what's known today as an elected despotism, about which racists, quote unquote, like Madison and Jefferson were so concerned. You can read about that in Federalist Papers 48. But that's all we have. No electorate, no elections, no judicial courts, no trial by jury, no habeas corpus, you name it. All gone with the wind. And that's what we want to get back, and we have every right to do it. To learn more about that process, send me an email, youwinningcourt@gmail.com. I'll get you information out of my modestly priced constitutional defense document packets, and you're going to find out that we have more power than you can ever imagine. And I didn't get it either, people. When I was 19, I was so damn stupid, I volunteered into the Marine Corps at the height of the Tet Offensive in the Vietnam War. I mean, how's that for ignorance? But that said, I've taken the time to learn, and I want to help you do the same thing, and it won't take you near as long as it took me. even doing it very seriously back in the day when I was still a quote unquote employee and working full time. I managed to cover a lot of ground, and it took close to 20 years. And one day I sat down and I said, can't be right. Yet all of it is. And the current justices on the court seem to agree with me now. First time, I could say, in 90, maybe 100 years. And we have chances to make real progress here and getting our rights back and getting our federated Republican form of government back. And that's the gift that I hope my work will leave, if I had a family, which I don't, but to my children and my posterity along with yours. And that's why we beat them if we get in front of the jury, because that's our main interest. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of quote unquote money, but making changes that affect them positively. They can't get around that on the other side. What are they going to have in court? Handful of attorneys in $2,000 designer suits. See you later. All they're there for is the money. The jury damn well knows it. That's what's going to beat them, and that's why they're going to get the checkbooks out and pay us off when we set unopposed records in their corrupt courts with multiple acts of treason. That's how good this is. So to learn more, send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe, like the videos, tell your friends, get the word out. As soon as we cut out all this divide and conquer BS they've been doing for the last 150 years, the sooner we get these bastards off our backs. Thank you.